Hi, everybody.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Pounds and Inches, our weight loss review series where we bring you guys a new review every time either I lose a pound,
Or I lose an inch.
in this case, Bethany lost another inch.
Woohoo!
Alright, so sorry, thanks for being patient with us. It's been a while since we've done an episode. We've had a lot going on, not all for the good.
Yeah, it's been rough for those of you who have followed our series for any given time. You know that Spider Lady or Cat something, whatever she calls herself, well, she broke her collarbone. She's totally fine now, but she broke her collarbone a couple months ago. We had both of our cars stolen.
That's right, both, yeah. Not one, but both of our cars stolen out of our garage. And so that was a major setback in our time and life. We had a death in the family, so that was sad and tragic, but it's part of life. So,
And then Ryan's job got very stressful for about a month and a half.
yeah. So all that put together, some of our gaming time, our review time, our editing, and all of that kind of got put off to the side for a while. And then by the time things all got straightened around,
It was the season of celebration.
yeah, Thanksgiving and Christmas and everything, all the holidays that go with that. Everything has been a very busy time, so not as much reviewing and board game playing as we'd like, but hopefully that's changing for us. So
Yeah. And for those of you who were keeping updated with things, because of the timing of the unfortunate incidences that happened, I was not able to do my half marathon. So that was canceled.
yeah, and all the food that I was planning on not eating, that also got canceled. So this is why this episode is brought to you by a inch lost by Bethany rather than a pound lost by me. So we are celebrating that, and we are going to review one of her games that she chose. We're doing, will you introduce it?
We are going to do a Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle. Pretty excited to talk about this. We played it recently, and we have plans to play it again in the very near future, so I thought it would be timely, and I like it.
All right. So what do you get when you open up the box of Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle?
So one of the things about this game is that there's kind of a exploration part of it. There's different books and different things get revealed. We don't want to give any spoilers away, so we actually won't be talking about everything that you get, because when you first get the game, you don't know everything that you get.
Mm-hmm.
But the essential things are you get a player board. You'll get a ton of different cards. You get influence, attack, and villain tokens. There's there is the game board.
I feel like Vanna White.
You get character cards, and then you also get more things that are revealed as the games carry on.
Yeah.
So we know that this is a deck builder, but how does that work with this?
All right, so just as a real quick intro to the deck building concept, if you're not familiar with it, you're going to start with a very small deck of weak cards. But over time, you're going to use those weak cards to buy stronger cards. And once those stronger cards get shuffled back into your deck, well, your deck is now better. And use that better deck to buy better cards, the ability to fight more villains and heal each other up. This is a cooperative deck builder game, which is kind of unusual. So you're all working together to fight the bad guys in this case. The game can end in one of two ways. Either we as our team collectively are going to fight all the bad guys and beat them, and the last one, of course, as always, is Lord...
No.
he who shall not be named. So you've ended by beating him, or you lose the game. There's these location cards, and there's location markers that you place on them. Certain cards will trigger those, and once all the location cards have been filled up with those location markers, you lose the game. So those are the two ways you can end the game. As far as during the game, basically you're going to be using that deck building concept to heal each other up, because you're going to be taking damage from both the villains and these cards called the Dark Arts cards, following again in that wizarding world of Harry Potter. And those might stack and be especially bad for you. One might say, discard a card. Okay, well that's not too bad. It kind of hurts my hand a little bit, but might be another villain that says every time you discard a card, lose a health. And there might be another card that says every time you lose a health, discard a card, or add one of those control markers on the location. So it kind of has a snowball effect, and you've got to fight against that and help each other out as best you can. So yes, it's got a lot going on, but because it kind of has that campaign mode where you're only going to open up one box at a time, you start with, just like if you're familiar with the Harry Potter book series, you read book one and then the story progresses and progresses. So you're going to eventually open up game 2 and game 3. More and more mechanics get introduced, and the complexity goes up a little bit. It's stair-stepping into you, but also the difficulty level goes up as well. So they're going to get harder and harder, but they also kind of give you tools to help you face those harder and harder challenges. All right, so overall, what did you think? What are some things you liked about Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle?
So some things I liked about this is actually something that Ryan said earlier, but I'm going to steal it. That this is kind of a board gaming Harry Potter fan dream come true. They did not take the Harry Potter IP and just pasted it on to Scene It, but they actually created a brand new game with that IP, and they did a brilliant job with it too. I thought they did a good job at immersing you in that, and so I was pretty excited that you got a real game with the Harry Potter thing.
Yeah, I mean, this is not, Monopoly with Harry Potter. It's not Uno with Harry Potter. It's a real game, and it's satisfying, and we have a good time with it. We asked for it quite a bit by non-gamers and gamers alike, and we'll get to that a little bit later, but this is fun, and the theme really fits in with the mechanics. That's something that you look for, especially in a game that touts its theme as one of its selling points. Like the cards match up with what you think they might do. A card like Sirius Black, if you're familiar with the characters in the book, is more attack heavy, and someone like Dumbledore is very powerful and has kind of good at everything, and you want that. It's what you're looking for, and every time those cards come up, you reminisce about the books and the movies, and it's good.
I was pleasantly surprised with how they pulled off a cooperative deck builder. I'd never played a cooperative deck builder before, so I wasn't sure how that would function or how that would work. And I was really happy with how they did it. How they took these exact same mechanics that I was already familiar with, but that I am familiar with in only a competitive way, and they were able to twist it to where we were working together while doing the exact same thing. So I was pretty impressed with that.
Yeah, I really liked the way they did the different game boxes, all the different new mechanics, all the different new components that come out. It follows the stories of the books and movies, as well as introduces those new concepts in a way that's not overwhelming, and I think that was really cool.
Another thing that I liked was our win to losing percentage. We've actually gotten rid of games in our collection when we win them all the time and we don't lose them, and maybe that's not how you play, but that's just how we play. We need to know that we can lose because we've lost before, and it helps just make a more enjoyable gaming experience for us. So I liked that. I will come back to that in a moment though, because we kind of made a house rule on that was able to make that percentage a bit better.
Yeah. Some things I didn't like. I want to mention that the component quality wasn't 100%. I don't know, I was a little disappointed with it, I guess. There were some cards that they were stamped out, weren't quite in alignment, and so you can see some of the white borders on some of the cards, or maybe a little bit of text, or some of the pictures were cut off a little bit, and that's, I don't know, a little disappointing from a major publisher. It's not something you expect to see, and I'm sure if I emailed them, they might make it right, but maybe I will, I don't know. but you expect better quality. That's just kind of the bar has been set high lately. I can't talk about all the components. Obviously, there's a lot of spoilers that we don't want to mention, but the component quality was lackluster.
And as I mentioned just seconds ago, when we first played the game, we were playing as two players, and we won all the time. And so Ryan found on a forum that you should play with all 4 of the characters if you're playing 2 players. So Ryan would play 2 characters and I would play 2 characters, and that kind of evened out the game versus you. And so we tried that, and it is true. If you're playing 2 players, you want to play with all of the characters. And the way that we did it is we went back and forth, so that way I wasn't having 2 turns and Ryan was having 2 turns. So sometimes it would get a little finicky. We'd have to remember what character was playing. But just know that is there. If you're playing 2-player, you really do need to play with all the characters.
Yeah, I think that there's some cool mechanics. Each one of the characters has special abilities, and you'll miss out on some of those abilities if you're only playing with 2 out of the 4. And also, it's a little bit too easy because in a 4-player game, a lot can happen in one turnaround, and so you need to be able to prepare and adapt and change your strategy based off of what has happened since your last turn. And in a 2-player game, you just are able to respond a little too quickly almost, and you can't. It's hard to lose almost. So another thing that I thought was a little bit of a something to be aware of. About 75% of the way through the game, and at least a lot of the plays that we've noticed, or at least that I've noticed, is it seems to be kind of predetermined whether you're going to win or lose. So the last 25% of the game is just going through the motions. It seems like, again, at that 3/4 of the way through, either you're so far behind and there's literally nothing you can do about it, but you just have to keep on letting those markers be put on the location cards until you're dead, or you're so far ahead and you know you're going to win, but you have to go through the motions, keep on adding the damage to the villains until you face you-know-who, and take the time to beat him up, and then you can finish the game and say you won, even though you won 20 minutes ago when you had it all figured out. So I mean, it's still fun. It just overstays its welcome. Just that little bit extra.
But overall, I really like this game. It is not going anywhere. It's staying in our collection. We enjoyed it enough to buy the expansion. But the real question when it comes to a game like this is, if there's a person out there who was really into gaming, but maybe wasn't into Harry Potter, who are you? Do you think they would enjoy this game?
I think that a board gamer, non-Harry Potter fan, would, first of all, they'd probably choose a different deck builder over this one, just based off their, having a lot of choices out there in the market. But if they did end up playing this game, they would not be disappointed, especially in the latter games like Game 6 and Game 7, when it's fully fleshed out, all the mechanisms and components are all together. I think that they would be surprised at how much they enjoyed this.
So on the inverse of that, if there was somebody who is a huge Harry Potter fan but not much of a gamer, do you think they would be able to enjoy this?
Yeah, I think that they might not be their first grab off the shelf as far as a Harry Potter game, but again, I think they would be surprised at how much they liked it. Especially the way the game does a really good job of introducing those rules a little bit at a time. That Game 1 is really just giving you the very bare bones introduction to deck building and the cooperation aspect of this game. And then as the rules go on, there's actually a spot in the back of the rule book where they kind of have all the different spots, so the little extra rule books that aren't in the initial rules. That way you can learn them all on the fly, and you don't have to be overwhelmed with those more gamerly concepts early on. So I think they did a great job of making it friendly for both seasoned gamers and for Harry Potter fans that just want to have some more fun in the Harry Potter universe that they know and love. So that's a tall order, and they pulled it off.
Well, thanks for watching, and thank you for being patient with us for the past 4 months. We do have plans for our
Channel.
Yeah.
Yeah, so stay tuned. We've got another episode coming up soon where we're going to talk a little bit more about our future plans and what we've got planned for ourselves, our health goals, and this channel. So make sure to stay tuned. You can find us either on our blog on boardgamegeek.com called Pounds and Inches, or on our YouTube channel called Pounds and Inches. Bethany has an Instagram channel which is dedicated to board game stills, which are actually pretty cool. @BNFigs, however the Instagrammers do things.
Isn't he cute?
All the Twitters and the tweeters and the Instagramness that the things do. LinkedIn. What else? Do we have a LinkedIn account?
No, we don't.
Oh, okay, whatever else we have. Pounds and Inches, you can find us, or BNFigs on Instagram. Thanks so much again. See you next time.
Bye.